Ding ding ding, new channel logo.
Hello everybody, it's me, Powell. So I've been seeing a lot on YouTube lately that people are doing Storytime videos, which is pretty much what I do most of the time, but I thought, you know what, let's do an official one. So this story begins on a summer night after I'm hanging out with a few friends and staying at one of their apartments for the night. And as I do at the end of the night, sometimes log on to Grindr just to see who's around, especially if you're in a new area, just to see what's happening. So I'm kind of, chatting, whatever. It appears as if there's a mutual interest between me and someone I'm talking to. And I end up going to his apartment because it was like a block away. I capitalized on the situation and I just walked right on over. Felt safe about it, felt really great. So I get to this person's apartment. He's telling me on the app, like, wait till we buzzed in here. And then I wait and I do that. It feels like a Grindr scavenger hunt, or an obstacle course, just trying to get to the checkpoint, whatever. Then I go up the stairs and he's like, okay, now buzz this number when you get to this door. I'm like, okay. When I get to the door that leads me to his hallway, he puts a card in the door for me to go through the door. So first question, you had to come to the door to put the card in. Couldn't you have just come and opened the door for me? And then I get to the door with the card in it and I open it and I hear like a running away sound. And I kind of just stood there and I was just like, do I really want to do this? Then I get a little weird and I go to his door and I'm like, hello, I'm here. Because I don't want to knock, it's like late at night. And then I get in and all the lights are off. And so we hang out for a little bit. I'm there for like 10 minutes and we're gonna skip the details, okay? So that happened. But he was really cute. It let me see past the obstacle course I went on. Then I start trying to keep the chatting going the next day, as I do, and he just is not having it. I'm like, alright, well, whatever. And then, classic me, I keep chatting him later, like on other days. And then he doesn't respond. I'm like, alright, I think I would get the message, but I never do. Unless you send me a message and tell me, no, I'm a child. A couple months later, I'm on the dating app Coffee Meets Bagel. That's the one where you get to see one person a day, and you either click like or you click pass. But side note, they also ask if you want to hear feedback from the people that have passed on you to see why they didn't click like. That is the last thing I want, okay? No feedback on why I'm not dateable, please. No. Anyway, I see this same guy on Coffee Meets Bagel a couple months later, and I click like. He's cute, a little weird, aren't we all though? So we match. I'm not gonna tell him that I know him because then he might remember it's me and not want to talk to me anymore. We're talking a lot. Sometimes if I'm chatting with somebody on one of these apps like Tinder or Coffee Meets Bagel or Hinge, whatever, sometimes it'll just die out. It's like, okay, well, whatever. Oh, that reminds me of that one guy that stopped texting me back on Hinge. I missed him, he was nice. So we're talking a lot, and then finally he says, okay, well, let me give you my number, we can text, that's a little easier. Good sign, okay, I agree, yep, give me your number. Oh, well, you should call me. That makes me a little nervous. But I said, okay, I had a few Coronas, classic. And then I texted him and I said, are you wanting to talk to me on the phone so you can hear how I am masculine? And he just said, yeah, LOL. And I was like, yeah, fair enough, honesty. So then I had to be like, all right, pal, well, let's keep it cool, let's keep the voice down lower, let's tap into that semi-bass register you can activate sometimes, and let's not talk about the Olsen twins yet. Let's just ease him into it. I even adopt a sitting position on the couch that's a little more manly, and I just I can't even do the voice for you because it really has to be an in-the-moment thing, but I was just Powell minus 15%. I was just holding back a little bit. Even so, he was laughing at things I was saying. It was like a 35-minute conversation. That's a long time, people. I think we maybe had made plans for the next week to go to a bar to get, I don't remember. I don't know of the exact time he stopped talking to me, but he stopped. And I was like, all right. But didn't get the message, I just kept texting, thinking, oh, today he'll text back. Not paying attention to all the other texts I sent without responses. I'm telling you, I need to take a class or something, because I don't know. A month or two goes by again, and I'm like, all right, dude, whatever, just talk to you never. But then I'm at a bar with one of my great friends, we're having a fun little night out, and I see him with one of his friends. And I turned to my friend, I was like, oh my god, this is the guy, it's awkward, what do I do? She was like, say hi to him, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. Which I should have done. I either texted him, I think he texted me. Gets confusing. He texted me and he was like, did I just see you at so-and-so? And he said, oh yeah, sorry I'm awkward, I didn't say hi. That's what I said. Yeah, I was wondering who that cute guy was and it was you. And it was like, oh, you're flirty. Why haven't you texted me back in a couple of months? But I like that you're flirting with me and you call me cute. Then he was like, you should come with my friend and I to this concert we're going to tonight. It's right across the street. And I was like, you know what? Yes, let's go. So we went, and there's a little touchy-touching at the concert, and then we went to another bar after, and we were hanging out all night. And then after the concert, and a few bars later, his friend and him were like, all right, it's time to go. Something, and I was like, okay, bye. So I walk him and his friend back to their car, and there's like no hug or anything, and I'm Ubering home. And so then I go up from the parking garage to wait for an Uber, and then a couple minutes later just see them drive by, and I'm just like, okay, bye. And then Drunky McGee is like texting him, I think I said something like, I'm in the Uber on the way home, and I sent some emojis with it. It's like, oh yeah, you saw me get in the Uber. Sometimes, a couple times when I have been drunk, after that time, I'll just text him something when I'm drunk and he doesn't respond. And I'm just like, you know what, Powell. So after the drunky night when I was texting him all those emojis in the Uber, we haven't talked since, and I haven't seen him since, but if history repeats itself, I'm probably gonna see him again, and this time I'm just gonna have to not say anything, because why does he just go through times not talking to me? You're a weirdo. You're not watching this. I don't think that you. I think you maybe watched my videos and then you're like, I'm out. So that's kind of the story. So that is boy number 2 in this YouTube series, because I guess when something doesn't work out, I'll just make a video about it. I don't care. Well, here's to the next one. What's happening? I guess he just was, I don't know. It's really cute. I shouldn't text him because there's a lot of blue in that text conversation. It's all me.